All right. It's a good one. Meme says, Rob, have you considered investing in Bitcoin mining companies, or do you prefer straight Bitcoin purchasing? No. Me and Meme know some friends who are into Bitcoin mining, and you got to navigate those waters, and you got to be very sharp. And if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you're going to be underwater quickly. So Bitcoin mining companies, sure. But then there was a couple ones that I liked, like Marathon and things like that looked pretty good, Riot Blockchain, but they'll take a hit. So over time, it might be a good way if you don't want to buy Bitcoin to get into that. Me personally, I would just rather buy Bitcoin. So not so much the companies, but it's not a bad play, just not my thing. Ooh, William Davison. What happens to my account in Coinbase if they move to the UK? Nothing. But we did a video a couple days ago, and I talked about how I just don't see the point of Coinbase sticking around here for America and really pushing that narrative when everybody knows they're going to get sued. So like you get a Wells notice from the SEC, and they're just going to, really rip into you for a long time. And it's pricey. It's not pricey for the government to bring a lawsuit, but it is pricey for you to fight that one. So I don't think they're going to leave totally, but I think if I was Coinbase, I would, and especially and we talked about this in the last NFA Live show, we talked about the global liquidity and how it was being increased in the Asian countries. You would see liquidity increase, China, Japan, Korea. And then you look over here in the United States and liquidity is decreasing. So if I was a company and I had the ability to go global, why would I stick around in America where I'm getting scrutinized every which way? Why wouldn't I just branch off and be like, well, we'll still support you guys as best we can, but you're the past and this is the future. Me personally, I just don't see why they're sticking around to grow. Paul says, Voyager bureaucracy forms for going to play during game. Voyager's another one. Voyager, and then people keep asking me about Voyager and Binance US. So look, Voyager, it looks like that is going to be able to go through. It looks like they came to a resolution with the US government. Thanks, US government, for allowing us to get our funds back. And you're going to be able to opt in. If you're in Texas, like I am, you're not going to be able to opt into Binance US unless Binance US gets a money transmitter license. To my knowledge, so far, they've not been able to do that. What that means is that if you live in Texas and other different states, I forget the specific ones, you will not be getting your crypto back. You'll be getting cash back. So wait for more news about that one and go from there. Members are more likely to be gifted memberships. I guess so. You blue check marker. This comes from, if you follow me on Twitter, I don't understand the issue between everybody and the blue check marks. And quite honestly, people are all up in arms about having to buy a blue check mark for Twitter. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't see it. What's the problem, right? Like I tried to get verified on Twitter for over a year, just passed me by. You know who else tried to get verified on Twitter for a long time? Charles Hoskinson. And you know who got the blue check mark? An impersonator. So I was like, well, this is just a sham. And now we come along, just pay the money and you're going to give us your payment information to verify you are who you say you are. Now we have your payment information on file. And we go from there. Now, they were working on the bugs in the beginning. I think it's a little bit better now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'd like someone to, I would like someone to do this. Try to go to Twitter and sign up as news asset or digital asset news and try to pay with your credit card or debit card or however you would pay for that $8 and see what happens. See if they're going to let you in. So like for me, I just look at them like it's a company. They're trying to make money. I think it was valued at 44 billion. Now it's valued at, I think, 22 or 23 billion. So it's like half. So if you've ever run a company or any business, you know that it's kind of important for revenue to come in. So I'm not saying that, this is the greatest thing of all time. And I'm like, I don't get it. So maybe I'm being ridiculous, but trying to make a buck, and I think we're in a free market. Before anybody laughs, go, oh, really, we're in a free market? Go to China. Tell me how free you think it is over there. That's it. Rob said Acme. Look, you can do it. You can try it on Twitter. You can try it on YouTube. It's not like I've stopped anybody. That's not too actually accurate. There's always going to be impersonators. Actually, I think if you take a look at like my comment section, some other comment section, I think I have less bots. Now they don't get eliminated immediately. Sometimes it takes like a couple minutes or so, but not too bad. Yeah. What is going on with that ceiling fan? It's just a green screen. Don't worry about that. So let's see. Cardano for life. ADA owner. I don't know what that was. Do you see, this is a good one. Do you see the government in a different light after you got into crypto? Bitcoin is truly opposing the Ethereum government. I got into crypto in 2017. So I was already on the border with politicians and what they're able to do and not able to do. But yeah, I mean, you know, starting a channel and doing these things, it kind of forces you to do a lot more research and data hunting to see just where your investments go. It was actually not a bad idea. So if you want to start a channel, I highly recommend it. It'll force you to do things you probably wouldn't do. And one of those things is you really take a stern look at politicians and the government itself. And like, if you're here right now, you probably don't trust the government 100%. I'm just going to guess. And that's why you're here. And as time goes on, I see the hypocrisy that goes on through all governments. And as time has gone on, I've adapted one phrase I think it's pretty accurate, which is the same thing as models. All models are wrong and some are useful. Same thing with politicians. All politicians are wrong, all of them, and only some are useful. So really, if you're taking a look at politicians, they really are just tools. That's all I see them as. And I see them as I will vote for the ones that hopefully can do what they say they can do and move from there. Now, some people say, well, Rob, that's very naive because I don't do anything. Look, you got to do something. You got to, either you need to run for office and shut up, or you need to vote for the people that you think will do the best job. So take your pick. Or you can sit at home and don't do anything. It's up to you. Some people say, just don't do anything. So for me, like I look at it and I'm just trying to find the representative that'll push the agenda that I feel is the best thing forward. So that's it. So as far as that, yeah, it's changed me a little bit, I should say, but not to where I'm like, like I totally believe in government. I was like, this is the most awesome thing ever. Quite honestly, it's sometimes it's just a real ass show. Benny, hey, so I've been talking with Plan B, and he had the worst issues getting a blue check mark for many months, and recently he got it. So I wonder if the rules got looser. The rules got looser because really all you got to do is you pay dollars, you verify you are who you say you are, and they take your payment information. It's very simple. I think it's a weird thing because back in the, I had over 100,000 Twitter followers, and over here I had over 300,000 subscribers. And when I went there to do it, they just flat out said no. You're nobody, or not that you're nobody, but we can't verify you. I'm like, how the hell can you not verify? I just gave you all my information. So then, of course, thankfully, Benny would actually help out and get rid of most of the scammers that are out there. I think it's much better now than it used to be, but that's it. The Shaolin said, I lived in China for 8 years. So tell me what it's like, because all I hear is the stuff that is on the internet. And who knows if that's true? Who is Jarky? He's the greatest person of all time, and he gives memberships. And if he did it again, thank you, Jarky. We appreciate it. That's awesome. Crypto needs Red Bull. How's Flappy coming on, Rob? Pretty good. Talking to a lot of platforms. And it looks like, I don't know, might be, we talked to Scale and talked to Filecoin, and we talked to some other ones, but it looks like we're narrowed it down to Polygon and Moonbeam. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, Flappy is going to be a Web 2, Web 3 game. That's all I can tell you. Just a game. Just a game. Is that a green screen? Green screen. Also, birds aren't real. That's a cool one. I remember that a long time. YouTube channel, we definitely have a face for radio and a voice for print. Nobody cares about that. Jarky's back. I bought a house in Argentina for Bitcoin. Long live crypto. Never using fiat again unless I need. There was a company that just opened up that's taking Bitcoin for real estate. Interesting. I wonder if that's a top. Rob, when he was starting that super PAC. I don't give it to any politicians. It's just you might as well just throw sand in the ocean. It's about as worthless as doing that. Yeah, Chrissy Den says, hey, Rob, I just Googled Coinbase and they have 100 million clients. Most of them are USA. Do you really think they would close up and lose all those funds if Bitcoin is a commodity it would sell? Yeah, I don't think they'd close per se, but I think if you had a choice to leave America or spend all your time here and really make things work, but then just branch out, what would you do? That's how I see it. And they're gonna go through a fight with the SEC, just like Ripple is, and whoever else comes by. Birds aren't real, but that's true. Ooh, wow. Look at that. China's like living in controlled chaos. You can do just about anything as long as you don't say anything bad about the government. Wow. So that's true. I had a ton of fun, but recently the fascism and censorship got too real. Ugh, crazy. ETH prediction. This is my specialty. ETH in the year of 2023 will be between the price of $10 and $10,000. Got it. Nailed it. Is there a chance that Gary gets removed? Doesn't seem like he's going to step back by himself. He's not going to step down, I will tell you that. But there's multiple politicians are calling for him to step down and actually to pass a bill to get him removed. We'll see if it works out. Who knows? TryHardX, did you hear about Fidelity International's decentralized deployment? Interesting. Fidelity. It was interesting when Fidelity started to offer their products related to digital assets. I remember the government came in and would say, you really shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't offer that to the public. And they said, well, thank you, government, but we are a private company, so we'll do whatever we want to do. That was awesome. I was thinking about this. Joshua Kura says, in my opinion, I don't trust Peter Schiff, Kevin O'Leary, fool's code. For one thing about Peter Schiff, who talks about gold a lot, I don't really care if I own gold, I own silver, I own Bitcoin. I'm amazed at how much he has in stocks and not gold for as much as he talks about it. So at least he's honest. It just doesn't really make it very public. So what? Hey, Rod, you ever hear from Digital Dave? He hasn't posted a video on YouTube in 6 months. Really? Hope he's okay. Maybe he's too busy playing paddleball or pickleball in Thailand. Sean, I'm new to crypto. How does tax on cryptos work in the United States? It all comes down to taxable events. Moving your crypto from one wallet to another wallet is not a taxable event. However, using your crypto to buy goods and or services is a taxable event. Also, if you transfer or transform one crypto, another crypto, that is a taxable event. Meaning if you bought Bitcoin 10 years ago and it was at $100 or whatever it was, and then today you bought Ethereum at 2,000, that would be a taxable event from those two parts. And that's really the big thing. And then also you have to take a look at capital gains tax. So capital gains is short-term and long-term. Long-term is over a year. Short-term is less than that. And if you're a short-term capital gains, it's all depending on your tax bracket, whatever that is, 21, 28, 34, 44%, whatever it is. And you pay that when you sell off your crypto. But there was an interesting post I thought was interesting from CoinLedger. And they're a sponsor of the show for tax software. They said that you can gift, not your wife or your spouse or something like that, but you can gift members of your family crypto, and it becomes tax-free because you gifted it to them. So just something to throw out there. Hey, Rob, what do you think about Algorand being named the Bittrex case with the SEC? Well, it's a problem. And also it's a problem for holders of iTRUST. So iTRUST Capital, sponsor of the show. For a Roth IRA, just so everybody knows, for Algorand, they have frozen Algorand. So you can transfer it out if you want to, but that's a taxable event because it's a Roth IRA. But you can't sell or buy right now, because of the people that they use for custody services aren't allowing it. And it's the same thing that happened with XRP. If you had iTrust back in the day with, and you had XRP, now you can't buy it or sell it. So just say thank you, SEC, because that's what's going on. Now you're not going to lose it. It's just there, and you can't really do much with it right now. Again, if you want to take that tax liability, you can take it out from iTrust if you really want to, and you have to fill out a form. You'll take it out, put it into your wallet, and sell it if you want to, but I don't know why you do that right now. Yeah. Troy Harris says, have you heard about Fidelity's Metaverse deployment as on their tokenized bond? What do you think about that? Either one. So Metaverse, right now, Metaverse play. There was just an article that just came out about Metaverse, especially like the sandbox and how much concentration of users they have. And they thought they were going to have like thousands and thousands. And it was like a couple hundred and something like that. So Metaverse plays right now, I don't really see them now. Blockchain gaming, Web3 gaming, I can definitely get into that. I'm getting into that. More the casual games and things like that. As far as tokenized bonds, if they want to do it, and whichever chain it's actually on, that's exactly what Larry Fink said, who is the head of BlackRock. He said the future is tokenized assets, and that's where they're going in big. The big question is, what are they going to base that on? Is that going to be on a layer one like Avalanche or Cardano or Ethereum? Right now it looks like, well, actually, I can't really even guess. We'll find out. And that's why I invest into layer one solutions more so than anything else. Cosmo, feel free to give me some Bitcoin. What's your opinion on Cosmos? I think it's pretty good. Did you know that, remember that crypto called Luna? You know, Luna was built on Cosmos or Tendermint. And when Luna collapsed, did you see any other problems with any other chains? Like the Crypto.com token and some other ones? Went off without a hitch. So I got to tell you, with that much massive collapse, and Cosmos was able to handle that, the ecosystem, which was, let's be honest, Luna was a pretty massive collapse, and nothing really affected it. Just looks pretty good. JP Morgan coin. In Australia, moving crypto is a taxable event, as ETH is disposed of. Huh, that's weird. Wonder why moving it from one wallet to another wallet would be a taxable event. Because If you move it from one wallet to one wallet, it just stays the same price. Be leery of Leary. Dex and some tomato coin. Those were the days. Look at that. Jarky says, what crypto goes for Argentina is crazy. You can transfer crypto to the black market and get 450 pesos instead of 220. So if you travel here, just take your crypto and don't use your card. I'm not going to recommend to do that, but that's just what Jarky says. So interesting. Sandstorms are real in China. Shannon's got a good question. I'm going to tell you why. CBDCs can be tracked by governments and turned on and off by government. Why would other countries ever use it? How are we going to do international trade? So there's two things. If we're talking about CBDCs, every country is going to have their own CBDC, right? And then you got to think to yourself, how many countries trust each other? So for me, like I look at Russia, India, China, Japan, Korea, North and South. Like how many of those actually, America, UK, different parts. How many of those countries trust each other and are going to say, yeah, we'll use that? I just don't know if that's going to happen. I think for a time, like because Russia wants to get around the sanctions, so they're willing to do pretty much whatever they can do to get away from that. And of course, that'll lead them to, bending the knee to China, using the digital yuan, fine. And then of course, the OPEC countries, United Arab Emirates and things like that, they'll be on board with that because they're sick of America and different things that we do. But the question is, how long is that going to last? And then here's the next question. CBDCs, well, first of all, people talk about CBDCs like they're the worst thing in the world. They're not. You know why they're not? Because as people start to use them, all it takes is one time for the government to screw up. And they'll do it because they're not perfect, obviously. And it just takes for one government to turn off the tap, meaning they start to go to use CBDCs. People are like, oh, this is so cool. I got this like digital money. I can transfer it now. It's super simple. I love it. And then all of a sudden, you're on social media and you hear about all these people or people in random pockets getting their funds turned off, and they can't afford heat, electricity, food for whatever reason, right? And whatever country that is. How long do you think it is before people are like, and here's a prime example. When the banks collapsed, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature, when it was three, Silvergate. When those three collapsed, how many people called you and started to talk about, hey, what's up with this crypto and digital assets? Because I just heard about these banks that are collapsing and people just lost their funds. Should I get into that? How many of you had that? That was a very short amount of time. And the reason was because of social media. Now take it, now extrapolate that. And then you got all these people who are talking about, oh, we just heard about the CBDC, which is great. And it's been doing good for 6 months or a year, or whatever else. And they just shut it off. And now people can't afford this or this or this. Maybe I should get out of the system in some way. I can use cash, because it's hard to cut down cash. I can use gold and silver. But also, maybe I use something a little bit more digital because that's what I'm used to on my smartphone and my computer. And what do I have? I have crypto and digital assets. So, I mean, this is why I am like, people are like, why are you for a CBDC? I'm not for a CBDC. But if it comes out, just give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves. I don't see the problem. I think that's it. And then people are like, what does a membership give me at Digital Asset News YouTube channel? Absolutely nothing. I think it's like $2. Jarky gives them out. I appreciate it. I think you get like a little icon next to your name. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm pretty high flyer. But good news, you don't need a membership to go over to Dan Teaches Crypto. It's 100% free, and all I require is an email. So that's free and always will be free. XRP. Perfect timing. Thanks for your free website. You're welcome. I actually just let me show you what it looks like. And a collective groan goes across the crowd. That's okay. Hey, here it is. Look at that. Free website. Start learning, big orange button. Click that. I'll log in. Dan. And I just started this. And like it's like I go over the basics, safety, how to not get screwed over. Investing, stuff like this. I think this is the most heavily watched module. Why we invest is my guy Chewy. The rules, why I have them. Risk, why dollar cost average. My exit strategy, and then when and why I'm selling 80% of all my crypto. So there's that one, but I just added this one, gaming. This is the video Mia Stash. The reason why I'm talking about gaming so much, we did a video not too long ago, and I talked about how, you know how many gamers there are in the world? First of all, you know the world population? It's like 7.5 billion, somewhere around there. Give or take 500 million, 7.5 billion. You know how many gamers, people who play games? 3 billion, 3.1 billion. I know it seems like a lot, but here's the thing. You know how many people have smartphones? Roughly over 70% of the entire population of the world. Maybe it might be 80% now, I'm not for sure. But think about people who have like computers, not even like high frequency are really great, even like older computers, older phones, whatever else, they have games on there. So casual gamers, there's 1.5, it's out of the 3.1 billion people, it's 1.5 billion people, and they're mostly in Asian countries. So imagine like a casual game that you can play, which you don't have to play it that much, but just enough to play a little bit and then maybe earn some crypto, like a play to earn or a win to earn. Maybe that might be something to look into. Just saying. CBDCs, inflation, and steroids. Yeah. Top 3 alt. Pepe, whatever that coin is, that meme coin, it was number 1 the last couple of days. Will it remain number 1? Who knows? I have no idea. Pharmagy says, Rob, do you think Texas is a good place to raise a family? Absolutely. The people are great. Does their book banning bother you? Tell me a state that doesn't ban books. Certain books, whatever books. And is that in every single county? Not for sure. Just because they ban a book doesn't mean you can't tell it to your kids. I'm not sure about that one, about what you're getting to, Farah, but sure. I am a horrible boss. And I'm also terminally unemployable. I can't work for anybody else. I gave that life up 8 years ago. Thanks, office. What do you think of asset managers and banks want to use CBDCs as a cash leg for a tokenized asset, such as the money market fund? What do you think is a good alternative? I mean, they can do that. They can use CBDCs and work it all out, and it might actually work out for them. The thing is, again, if they do that, they have to get it across nationwide, and maybe it actually works out. But then maybe somebody like, I don't really want to do that with my funds. People can do whatever they want to. But as far as a tokenized asset with CBDCs, what's the benefit if you think about it? Because, I mean, the whole great thing about having things decentralized is it's not in a centralized location. It's not, it doesn't. So if you have a CBDC, it's all run by the government. So what's the difference between that and doing anything with like the regular banks? The great thing about having things in different ledgers all across the country is then it can be verifiable and backed up and things like that. So if they want to do it, they can do it. I just don't think it's the greatest move for them. I'm skeptical of channels sharing relative knowledge for $100. It's free market. Everybody can do what they want to do. Lachlan Nichols says, Rob, do you think the bottom is in? I don't think the bottom is in. And I think we've got lower to go. However, having said that, I've been wrong before. And because I've been wrong before, I still dollar cost average every day. So it's the same thing. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Cardano, Polygon, Chainlink, and a host of other ones that I buy every single day because I don't know which one's going to be the winner. moving forward. And if I'm wrong and the bottom isn't in and it goes up, well, I've been dollar cost averaging this whole time. I dollar cost average in 2022, although for some of that time frame, I was doing micro DCing, which is less amounts. But when the last one, when we were hitting 17, 19, I was regular dollar cost averaging. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what I do, quite honestly. It's whatever you do. This is what I do. And as time goes on, I think in the next 2-3 years, I'll be rewarded for dollar cost averaging. And if I'm right and things go down, great. Then it goes down, and those orders just keep getting executed. More money. Yes, the bottom is in. I've heard the bottom is in from a lot of people. I also heard people say, the bottom was, how many times have you heard this? This is the last time you're going to be able to buy Bitcoin below 20K. And how many times did it go below 20K in 2022 and 2023? Yeah, and that's it. My guy. There's a guy who knows a guy. There's a 20K again. That's it. There's one. Have you seen Upland Me? What's your thoughts on virtual real estate game with your assets in the blockchain? Be careful with that, because think about this. For all the different virtual worlds, like how hard is it to recreate those, So, look at Decentraland and look at Sandbox and look at, there's another one called CRYPTOVERSE, not Ben's thing, but another thing. And there's a plethora of other ones that are out there, and they're all just being created. And are they all going to be valuable? No. It's just like websites. Are all websites valuable? No. There's a bunch of them, and very few actually are super profitable. So just be careful with that one, because, only time will tell. Good luck. Anyhow, that's it for today. So if you like today's video, thumbs up and subscribe, all that good stuff. But that is it. Thanks for coming by for the second one. I'll see you guys on the next video. Adios.